What's up, fellow anglers, and welcome back to the channel. Your old mate is here with the most anticipated forecast of the week. Get ready, friends, because today we are diving deep into the fishing prospects for Wednesday, the 22nd of October, 2025, across the incredible waters of Australia. Trust me, friends, this isn't just another Wednesday. This day is shaping up to be quite a capricious one, offering both significant challenges and some hidden opportunities for those willing to adapt. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where to go and what to throw to make the absolute most of this intriguing day. Let's talk tactics and targets for this particular day. Given the dynamic conditions, we'll focus on a few key species that might still be active, especially in more sheltered waters. First up, the mighty flathead. These ambush predators are usually really starting to turn on as the water warms up nicely into the high teens and low 20s Celsius in spring. However, with the expected heavy rain and fluctuating pressure, they might be a bit more cautious. Where to search? He'd advise focusing on shallow estuarine sandy flats, especially near the edges of weed beds and where you find those subtle drop-offs. The key is to look for areas with slightly clearer, more stable water if possible. Early morning before the full impact of the weather hits or during any brief lulls will be prime times. On a day like this, my go-to lure is soft plastics around 3 to 5 inches in natural colors like motor oil or pumpkin seed. Jig them slowly along the bottom. Remember, a slow retrieve is key. Let that lure spend time on the bottom mimicking an easy meal. For bait, fresh pilchards or live prawns rigged on a running sinker are deadly. Next, let's talk about our estuarine favorites, bream. These guys are spring superstars, and with baitfish and prawns becoming more abundant, they'll be on the hunt, but might be a bit finicky. Where to find them? Target rock walls, pontoons, and submerged structure within estuaries. Look for any areas offering shelter from the wind and heavy runoff. Lightly weighted prawns or small strips of fresh pilchard fished on a running sinker rig will be effective. Don't be afraid to try some small silent surface lures or shallow diving crankbaits around structure in the early morning if the rain hasn't fully set in, as they can sometimes trigger an aggressive bite despite the conditions. And for our inland anglers, Golden Perch or Yellowbelly are worth targeting. October is usually when their activity is hitting its peak. Where to find them? Focus on dams and larger slow-moving rivers where the water temperature is more stable. Look for submerged timber, rocky outcrops, and deeper sections of the water column. Small, hard-bodied lures in dark colors or soft vibes jigged around structure can be very effective. Remember to check local regulations regarding Murray cod, as there are often closed seasons for them in rivers during this time. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of the conditions, friends. This is why the 22nd of October will be special. Weather. We're looking at a significant shift. For areas like Sydney, we're expecting heavy rainfall, almost 50 millimeters, and a noticeable temperature drop from the previous day, going from 33 degrees Celsius down to around 18 degrees Celsius. This indicates a strong cold front moving through. Winds will be a factor, starting northerly at 15 to 20 knots, increasing to 20 to 30 knots in the morning, then shifting west to northwesterly at 15 to 20 knots in the evening. This means strong, shifting winds and choppy conditions, especially in coastal waters. The sudden drop in air temperature and significant precipitation will likely lead to falling atmospheric pressure, which generally makes fish uneasy and can send them deeper or make them less inclined to feed actively. Water temperature. Despite the cold front, the overall trend for October in Australia is warming waters, generally in the high teens to low 20s Celsius. In Sydney, the average sea temperature is around 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. This underlying warmth is good for fish metabolism, but the sudden air temperature drop and heavy rain will introduce colder freshwater runoff into estuaries and can create thermoclines, pushing fish into more stable, deeper water. Moon phase. On the 22nd of October 2025, we'll be in a waxing crescent phase just one day after the new moon, with only about 1% of the moon's surface illuminated. Many anglers consider the period around a new moon to be a very productive time for fishing, The darker nights can encourage many predatory species to feed more actively during daylight hours, which could be a silver lining amidst the challenging weather. Overall fish activity: October is the heart of spring in Australia, and generally fish activity is increasing. Flathead, bream, and snapper are becoming more active, and golden perch are hitting their peak in inland waters. However, the heavy rain, strong winds, and sudden temperature drop we're expecting on this specific day will make the fish quite cautious and prone to seeking deeper, more stable water. Considering all these factors, my clear assessment for the 22nd of October is fishing will be capricious. It won't be a write-off, but it will certainly demand patience, adaptability, and a strategic approach. The sharp drop in temperature and heavy rain will unsettle the fish, pushing them to seek shelter and stable conditions, but the new moon phase could still trigger bites during lulls in the weather. So, my friends, while this day presents challenges, don't let it deter you. Adapt your approach, seek out those sheltered spots, and remember that even on capricious days, a smart angler can find success. I wish you all tight lines and screaming reels. May your bait be fresh and your knots be strong. If you found this forecast helpful, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future forecasts and tips. And tell me in the comments below, what's your go-to tactic for a challenging, rainy spring day? Share your observations because we're all in this together. Until next time, stay safe out there and happy fishing.